Thanks for having us today, and I want to say a big thank you to the Charles E. Lakin Foundation. As it was mentioned before, Malvern is the home of Florence Lakin, and so we feel we've had a great connection with the foundation for a long time, and we're excited for this continued partnership. My name's Kate McGann. I'm representing Vision Malvern and the community of Malvern today. And we just are so grateful to the Lakins and to the Community Foundation for Western Iowa for their forward-thinking vision and allowing us to address some of the challenges we've been facing over the past decade. I can't see my slides, but I think there's a before and after picture. If you go back to the first one, Jen. So over the past 10 years, Malvern has really been undertaking a lot of growth to set us in a great position to be able to move forward with what we're talking about here today. If you look on the right side of that screen, when I moved back to Malvern, I'm born and raised there, but when I moved back about 10 or 12 years ago, you can see what Malvern downtown looked like. There weren't very many active businesses, everything was sort of dilapidated, and we were really just struggling. The first project that we undertook was with IEDA, with the CDBG Downtown Revitalization Project. You've heard Stanton talk about they've recently completed one as well. And that really set our downtown up for success. Other projects over the past 12 years that have really poised Malvern for growth include another project from the Charles and Florence family, which is the Charles E. and Florence and Lakin Community Center, which has served as a great hub for our community as a gathering place. Current projects in Malvern include a child care center and a new school, which are laying the foundation and preparing Malvern for a hopeful population increase over the next decade. The East Mills Community School District recently completed a $21 million expansion project, moving the entire K-12 campus to Malvern. And we are currently working on a child care center, the Lakin Foundation Child Development Center of East Mills. We are actually out for bid right now. Bids are due back a week from today, so cross your fingers that is successful. And we hope to have up to 150 kids occupying that space a year from now. And the total project cost for that is $5 million. We are also currently working on housing projects. We had a recent subdivision on our golf course, which provided market-priced housing, and our grocery store. I saw Tom Mulholland here today, but our grocery store, which sadly burned down 2 years ago, is nearly completed, and that is a cornerstone of our community. So all in, with those current projects, there's about $40 million of capital investment that is being spent in Malvern today. And we face the same challenges in Malvern that you've heard from the other communities. Infrastructure continues to age and become expensive. Housing and addressing affordable housing in Malvern, as well as even market price housing, has been a challenge. If you go to the next slide, our projects that Malvern is planning to undertake with the Vision Malvern funds from the Lakin Foundation. These investment funds will support the development of Wabash Landing subdivision. That is a subdivision that is currently underway in Malvern. It is a subdivision that we received CDBG disaster recovery funds and are currently working with the Iowa Economic Development Authority and SWPCO. So the first 20 houses in that 61 house subdivision are income qualified homes to hopefully restock housing units that were lost during the flood. And then the Vision Malvern group intends to take the last 41 units and turn those into additional single-family units for purchase. And then next, the project is actually a little bit further along, is a 24-plex with garages, so an apartment complex. It is right across the street from the new Child Development Center. See John Hoyt giving me a thumbs up. This has sort of been his baby. Construction is going to start either late this year or early next year. And this really transformed the dilapidated area of town. There were homes there, trailer homes that needed to be moved and cleaned up. And so we've gotten the ground cleared, gotten some dirt work done, and that project is nearly underway. Long-term benefits for Malvern, you've heard a lot about them today, but reversing depopulation is really the key of this, as well as strengthening our school district and making sure that it's viable for decades to come. Malvern's population has declined, and we really see by the next census in 2030 that we could see a 200 to 300 population increase in our community of just over 1,000 people. Community collaborations, we have worked with a lot of the same entities that have been mentioned before, but Vision Malvern and the community of Malvern has worked alongside with the city. We have, I think there's some representation in the back from our mayor, city council members, and city staff. Malvern Bank, the Southwest Iowa Technical Career Hub, or SWITCH, East Mills Child Care Solutions, the East Mills Community School District, the Malvern Area Betterment Association, Western Iowa Networks, Southwest Iowa Planning Council, the Iowa West Foundation, and the Iowa Economic Development Authority. And lastly, we feel that the next decade of Malvern will be a pivotal time period in our history, due in large part to the commitment from the Lakin Foundation and the Community Foundation for Western Iowa. We can't express enough how thankful we are to be partnering on this growth together.